I frankened this polish for my wedding out of things that I had at home, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm really feeling it. It's giving traditional Indian bride with the maroon. It's made of Color Club's Drop It Like It's Hot, Holo Taco Polar Princess, another Holo Taco Celestial Lights, and a really old polish I have at home, Color Stay Revlon Always On Sealant number 2. My inspo was a limited edition FOMO polish, but I'm not about that kind of capitalism, so I didn't want to go looking for it. This is what happens when you put Polar Princess on top of Color Club's Drop It Like It Hot. But look at what happens when you mix them together. All of a sudden you get that depth, and I was really happy with what I achieved here. Now I mixed everything up in my Color Club bottle because look at that paddle brush. I absolutely love it for its ability to help me get the shape that I want. And using the paddle brush with varying levels of pressure is going to help me match the shape of my entire nail. You can see the way that I'm working with it on my pointer finger here, and then also on my index finger. I'm also using a tinted base coat here, and that's because I have a lot of staining from a green polish that I was using the week before. You'll also notice that I do a lot more than 3 swipes on my nails. You'll often hear people say swipe from the top and both sides, just do it 3 times, but you'll see that I'm swiping a lot more on my nails. The main point here is to create the outline that we want our second layer of polish to fall into. I also use a dotting tool to clean up any mistakes that I make. That's just because I don't have a lot of mistakes in my manicures anymore. You can use something like a brush dipped in acetone. What you want to do is dip your brush in acetone and then tap it on something like a paper towel. And then that's going to get rid of the excess acetone. After that, you can then use the brush to clean up any nail polish on your skin or, around your cuticle line. This is just a little close-up again to help you see the way I use the brush and the way I use it to shape around my cuticle. Now, because Polar Princess Celestial Lights and then the Always On Color Stay Revlon Sealant number 2 are clear polishes, when I added them to this red, I ended up with something that was a lot more crelly, jelly-ish, and that's what makes the depth of the glitters so beautiful inside this polish. And again, you'll see that because of the way we laid down our first coat, we don't have any bleeding outside of the lines that we created when we laid down our first coat. So the brush, our nail polish, everything is able to sit inside those lines. You also want to wipe off half of the side of your brush. You don't want more nail polish on your brush than you can manage. Extra polish means extra liquid, and that just means it's easier for it to bleed, it's easier for it to fall out the lines, it's harder to control. You'll see me dip again for this nail rather than just starting with more nail polish on my brush. That's a lot easier to do than it is to control a bigger amount of polish. And now let's look at that second coat with a little bit of light. Look at that sparkle. It's so good. I absolutely am obsessed with it. Now we're going to top coat it with one of my favorite top coats, Glisten Glow Quick Dry Top Coat. And you'll see that this is where I'm using a little bit more polish on the brush, and you can be heavy-handed with a top coat like that. And that's because your top coat's meant to help with that beautiful glass-like effect. It also doesn't give you a lot of shrinkage when you do use a little bit more top coat. The top coat also enhances that depth, and you're going to see the top nails I have in the next shot are not top coated, and the bottom has been top coated. So just look at the difference and you'll see how much better it looks. And there you have it. I was so happy with the effect. This is what the nail polish looks like outside. It looks a lot lighter and brighter. And then when we get back into studio lights, you can see all those different glitters, the pinks, the oranges, and that little bit of green from the celestial lights. I'm so happy with how it turned out. My mom and both my aunts also used the same nail polish for my wedding.